Hello, physical systems. So since I'm not in class today, I want to show you the lab that you're going to do. So at the center table, which is, right there, that same center table, there's going to be a box with the name of your class on it. It says physical systems. And there'll also be two black boxes like this. These are optional. You do not have to use these. You're not actually even going to plug these in. So those are for your weight experiment today. So in this big round box, you're just gonna dig down. This tops up is for you guys to use, but you're just gonna take this out for now until you get to the spring scales, which look like this. So this scale is for measuring force, just like we use rulers to measure inches and scales to measure weight. We use this to measure force. And actually, you're going to use these scales to measure weight as well. We used digital scales in the past, but this kind of gives you a better visual on how weight works, as we've been talking about this week. So today's the last day we're going to talk about weight. And so on your lab that you're going to either find online or get a copy from your substitute today, you are going to just use it to measure the weight of any object around the classroom. And actually, the box is full of things you can measure. I even have these little paper cups. So if you want to put something in here, there's a little hole on the side. You can just put the hook inside this hole and measure the weight of something inside that cup. So say, for example, I want to measure the weight of my keys. I just place that on the hook and then look at it. So this has two sides to it. It has grams and it has newtons. And so I want you guys to use newtons because we've been talking about force. But it is good to know that you could use this to measure grams and newtons. So the scales that we've been using actually measures the weight, but it just converts that weight into grams for you guys. So this says around, 0.75 newtons. And so you guys will have to use those little lines to figure out what those lines mean. Or if you want to give me the closest estimate, you can. But that's how those four scales work. Also, it's important to know that these come in different colors. And the colors tell you how strong the springs are. And actually, that's one thing you guys are going to have to find out is that which one is the strongest spring, which one is the weakest. So I'm going to encourage you not to do this too much, because that's going to wear out the spring. So if you find an object that's too much for this spring, well, then you need to find a different color spring or need to find a different object to measure on that scale. So let me show you what to do when you report your measurements. Like, here's the printed version of the lab. And again, your instructor will have this. So it says red scale item. And actually, I use the blue scale. So I'm just going to flip over to the blue scale, which is the last one. Blue scale item. So I would write down here keys. I measured my keys. And then 0.75 grams. And let me just show you that. So it looks something like this. Just write down what you measured on the first line, and the second line you actually write down the measurement. And don't forget units. Numbers mean something. And I want you guys to use newtons on those scales, not grams. And then there's some more questions on the sheet. Some of this you've covered before, so it might be some review. That's okay. That's what your lab is going to look like today. And there's one more additional assignment after you finish the lab if you have time. Hope that explanation helps you guys with what you're going to be doing. The only thing I ask is that when you're done, please make sure you put everything back in the box because you're not the only class working on this today. And I want to make sure everything's back where it belongs. And that way the other classes can have their space to work into. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a good day.